Baker, swim dodge, fires and scores! Skipping a step, behind the back! Pass, the extra look, and the goal! Shot on goal and good. From Don Snyder Stadium on the campus of Farmingdale High School, the Varsity Media Network presents this Nassau Conference A showdown between the Vikings of Port Washington, who come into this game with an 8-3 record overall, 4-1 in Nassau Conference A, against the Dalers of Farmingdale at 10-2, also 4-1 in Nassau Conference A. Good evening, everyone. Dylan Butler here with Dave Franklin. And Dave, we get to this point of the season, every game is massive, right? And Nassau Conference A, certainly on this day, there is no bigger game because the winner of this one earns an automatic berth into the semifinals. They automatically know they're going to be at Hofstra, which is huge. You see the standings here. Look at the parity among the top four teams, right? Massapequa, Farmingdale, Port Washington, and Syosset. There's a drop a little bit from 5 on down, but really these are the top four teams. We know that, and either of these two teams will be a 1 or 2 seed when the playoffs start.
Having that bye in the playoffs will obviously be huge to the program that is able to get the victory in today's game. The top four teams, it's really wide open. Even though Syosset's quote-unquote having a down year, Port Washington and Farmingdale only beat Syosset by 1 goal in both of their games. So neither of these coaches are overlooking the Braves going into the playoffs, but this is a really dynamic matchup today. These teams split last year at this very same field in the very same juncture of the regular season. Port Washington beat Farmingdale 9-5 in a little bit of a road upset, but then in the playoffs, Farmingdale was able to rectify things and get a 6-4 win over the Vikings. So again, a bit of a rematch today. These teams know that they'll likely see each other once again at some point before the season is over. A lot of playoff implications, a lot of history between these two programs, and really the cream of the crop when it comes to Class A, Long Island, Lacrosse, and Nassau County.
Yeah, you throw the Chiefs of Massapequa clearly in there as well, and because of their win over Farmingdale, at least right now, they've got to go to Syosset, and we'll have that game as well on Friday on the Varsity Media Sports Network, so there's no guarantees in Nassau A. But Massapequa has put themselves in a really good position to be that top seed, right? Which also obviously means seeding is hugely important. So if these are your 2 and 3 seeds, you're right. They play each other again at Stewart Stadium. So a lot does ride on this game. You want to avoid that extra game. You want to avoid the wear and tear on your body, and certainly a potential upset as well, right? So we'll take a look at Port Washington. They're coming off of a pretty lopsided win over Valley Stream. They hit kind of the part of their schedule where they're playing teams that they should beat, right? So they beat Valley Stream 20-3 in their last game. In that one, Henry Haberman, who is the alpha male, of course, of their attack, 2 goals, 3 assists, the 150th career point. But today, we'll focus on polls for both of these teams, because there's dynamic attacking players on both ends, right? Ryan Woodland's the guy on the other side for the Dalers. So who was going to look to stop these guys first? For Port Washington, it's Matty Freeman. We both love Matt Freeman's game. We saw him last year when he transferred from St. Anthony's back into town at the Port. He's going to play for the Terriers, currently in the NCAA tournament. So exciting things ahead, but Freeman obviously wants to end his high school career on a bang.
The two defensive players that will feature today, it's a Lightning and Thunder parity, and Matt Freeman is the Lightning. As you mentioned, going to be going to play for the Patriot League champs at Boston University, and Freeman's just an electric player. Again, he speaks into that Lightning identity. He's all over the field as an LSM. He slides hard. He hits heavy. He gets very involved in the clearing game, and when it comes to Freeman, it's just about tempering him a little bit, bringing his energy down so he avoids making stupid mistakes on the clear, staying out of the penalty box. Ultimately, if you give this Farmingdale team man-up opportunities and you take their most electric, dominant defensive player off the field in those stanzas, it's going to play right into Mike Hungerford's advantage.
And from Mike Hungerford's Dalers, they came off another 1-goal win, beating Syosset, a game we also had for you on the Varsity Media Sports Network, a 9-8 victory over the Braves. In that one, Ryan Woodland, 2 goals and an assist, had the go-ahead goal with 7:58 left. Farmingdale was threatening to pull away with this one. Syosset had a huge comeback in the second half, which made it a really tight game. But Woodland led the way offensively, as did James Hickes with 3-1. And Jimmy Caputo, what a great story he's been in the Dalers' cage. Replacing the injured Danny Seaman, the sophomore had 15 saves in that win. But again, we said we'll stay with Poles, right? So the guy we're going to focus on for Farmingdale, you know you're a legit defender when you wear that number 50. It represents the best defender on the Dalers that year. A guy named Lorenzo Ramos had that number a year ago. This year, it goes to Anthony Bolello. You see he's going to Binghamton. And we mentioned the dynamic between Freeman and Bolello. Here's an interesting thing to point out as well. Bolello has 1 penalty in 10 games. So he's on the field. He's that eraser to take away the other team's top threat.
Yep, he's fundamentally sound. It's kind of interesting how you mentioned number 50 because Bolello will be following Lorenzo Ramos to Binghamton. They will be teammates for the Bearcats, but you're absolutely right. Thunder and lightning matchup. Freeman is electricity, and Bolello is the fundamentally sound rock at defense. He doesn't take penalties. He matches feet. He throws good checks. He can do everything well. He'll get involved in the clearing game. He'll push the ball up the field if he needs to. But again, he wears that number 50 well, taking over for Lorenzo Ramos in that spot. And what will be interesting about these defensive matchups is Bolello probably will stay pretty constant on Henry Haberman. I expect Freeman to roam a little bit. We could see him invert and take on Ryan Woodland at attack. He could ultimately draw a lot of fire to Tommaso Ramos, Kyle Wilson, or Chris Bergerson for that matter. So while Farmingdale's star defensive player will be focused on one guy, the Loyola-bound Henry Haberman, Freeman will likely be all over the field, taking opportunities away from every threat Farmingdale has to offer.
And Bolello, 25 ground balls, 14 caused turnovers. And that number 50 we mentioned, right? It's been endowed by the Ostrander family in the name of former legendary Dalers coach Bob Hartraft. And Anthony Ostrander went to Albany. Jojo Ostrander went to Towson. Both great defenders, great students. So it's an honor, certainly, to wear that number. And Bolello does that well. Take a look at the starting lineups for both teams. First, for the visiting Vikings of Port Washington, and what a dynamic attacking line they've got. Obviously, Haberman's the alpha we mentioned, right? 34 goals, 15 assists. Ben Krevitz jumps in, played a little bit last year, but this time he's got a leading role, 27 goals and 8 assists, and Gavin Jacobson also in that attack line. He'll also go to Binghamton as well. Luke Meyer, terrific midfielder. He had a big game against the Dalers in that win a year ago, scored 3 goals. He's going to Dartmouth. John McCarthy and Andy Feinstein. You get a little bit younger there. Guys who are juniors and seniors, but younger in terms of their experience on the varsity level. LSM, we mentioned, right? It's going to be Freeman going to BU. 4 goals and 2 assists on the year for Freeman. So we know when they get a cause turnover, he is going, and he's going hard. Your close D is Gavin Duran. You mentioned him at the very top, an 8th grader, joining Matty Hillman, the junior, and Samadi Gargis, a junior as well. And in the cage, he's impressed us throughout the year with the games that we've had. Is Bradley Hammeroff, 90 saves on the year for the senior. Was Pat Kenny's backup the last 2 years. Now it's his job, and he's been doing it well. For head coach Isaac Neal, in his 7th season out of Overland High School in Aurora, Colorado. He played his collegiate ball at Hofstra. And now for the host, Dalers of Farmingdale. Unchanged lineup for them. You've got Agers, Hickes, and Woodland. Woodland, the big lefty, going to Hofstra. 30 goals and 10 assists for the 6'5" lefty. First midfield line of Ramos, Bergerson, and Wilson. At LSM, Jordan Smeichel. How great of an athlete is he? He's a preferred walk-on the Rutgers football team. Had multiple opportunities to play Division I lacrosse, but he chose football. Bolello, we mentioned, Thomas, and Pantorno as your close D. And Jimmy Caputo, what a story he's been. The sophomore in the cage, 65%, 29 saves on the year. One of the best 2024 goalies on the island, but now it is his job. Head coach for the Dalers, of course, is Mike Hungerford in his 6th season, a Farmingdale graduate of 1986, a former goalie himself. Had that 1 year of varsity starting experience in the cage. We take a look at some of the keys as the coaches brought them up to us. For Port Washington, Isaac Neal said, listen, Farmingdale is a great team. They're very well coached. They're disciplined and tough. Our keys are to finish our offensive possessions, super important, right? Clear, and stay out of the penalty box. That's been an issue for the Vikings throughout the season. And for Hungerford, as far as Port, he says they are really good offensively. Freeman is a problem on defense. They play fast. You've got to get into the hole on defense against these guys. And he said we've got to do the little things, right? Face off, clear, ride, stick skills. And he did say, as you alluded to, we will probably see them again. So it's one of those interesting, is it a chess match where you're not showing everything, right? You're not showing all your cards, but also you do realize what's at stake. So a win is paramount for both of these teams.
Again, these programs know a lot of each other. They played each other twice last year, as you alluded to. They'll likely play each other twice this year. When you look at the starting attack for both teams, everybody's a senior, so these guys have experience playing with each other as well as against one another. We're certainly in for a great battle here.
And the face-off X is going to be an interesting one today as well, because CJ Mangio, right, he's a Division I bound face-off guy. He's a Fogo. Look right away who he's facing, right? Matty Freeman, the pole at the face-off X. So it's not like polling after you lose 5 or 6. They're polling immediately.
Sending a message.
Freeman pushes forward, and a whistle, and we'll go for the Dalers.
So that's interesting. So Freeman comes in to scrap it out at the face-off X with the long pole. Ultimately gets called for an infraction there, but that's better than Mangio just taking it, making and taking it, right, and forcing a fast break right off the draw. So interesting strategy.
So the Dalers start on their first possession. Around the cage goes Kyle Wilson wearing that number 40, right? You mentioned it before. The other big-time number for the Dalers. Here's Bergerson going to Mercy, Division II commit. And after Mangio comes out of the box, comes Tommaso Ramos, Lorenzo's younger brother. Tommaso, a Stony Brook commit. So patient early on for the Dalers, this first possession, and we expected as much, especially after not getting that clean win, right, off the face-off. So they'll work it around. They'll be patient on this first offensive set. And you expect certainly 13, there's an errant pass out to the midfield.
Up, over and back.
Over and back. So an errant pass leads to a turnover. And now here come the Vikings. And there is Haberman right away.
And you can't see it on the field right now. Freeman is actually staying on a close defense, and Gavin Duran has come off the field. He was walking gingerly. I'm not sure if he rolled an ankle, or maybe this is just something that Port Washington is going to do, where they're going to let Freeman play LSM and then switch off Duran when they can. Or this is potentially just something that they're doing temporarily as the 8th grader composes himself.
Yeah, it could be a matchup thing, right? And especially, too, if Freeman's going to be the guy who's taking the face-offs, right? Maybe you save him a little bit, the running as an LSM, and you have him play close D.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, Coach Hungerford wants Freeman, Coach Neal wants Freeman on Ryan Woodland.
Yeah, I think Coach Hungerford wants nothing to do with Freeman, as there's a push, and we'll stay with Port Washington.
He wants Freeman in the penalty box.
Correct, yes. You wish he missed the bus. As here comes Meyer, good-looking junior, going to Dartmouth, lowers the shoulder, gets topside, hands off.
Meyer had 3 goals in last year's regular season win over Farmingdale. Again, Dartmouth commit, going to take his career to the next level in the Ivy League.
Dartmouth, I think, the only Ivy not to make the NCAA tournament this year. What a story that's been, right?
Duke and Notre Dame are not happy about how many Ivy League teams made it into the field.
Yeah, that's another soapbox I'll be on. That and the shot clock in high school. Those are my 2 soapboxes.
They're good soapboxes to be on. And any advocate about for Ohio State not being in the NCAA tournament is fine with me.
Going left is Andy Feinstein. They work it behind the cage. Shorty matchup. Spinning, turning, lowering the shoulder is Meyer. Draws the slide, kicks it back out.
That's a good matchup. Meyer on Wilson. Typically, you'd want to see the pole on Meyer, but
and there's
we'll see Haberman get to work also on a shorty.
Yeah, quickly, though, comes the double.
Good recovery.
Stall warning on. Low to high. Wide of the net by Jacobson.
So good recovery there, but again, that slide did leave Jacobson open on the opposite wing. Haberman has great vision, so he was diligent to find him there. Shot just off target.
Stall warning still on, so the Vikings have to keep it in. Rounding the cage there was Kravitz, but unable to put it on frame.
Good go to the goal by the uncommitted senior.
Kravitz, 27 goals and 8 assists on the year. All-county basketball player. Here he is. Plays a little two-man game behind the cage. Lowering the shoulder, firing and scoring. The first goal is John McCarthy as the Vikings take the early 1-0 lead.
You were alluding to it, Dylan. Nice two-man game here by Port Washington. Kravitz has the ball, has the matchup with Ryan Thomas. Makes the exchange with McCarthy. Ramos is a little bit slow off the pick. McCarthy gets top side and finishes a nice bounce shot on Jimmy Caputo.
McCarthy, one of the most heady, cerebral players on this Port team. His 9th goal of the year. Kravitz gets assist number 9 as well, and a hold. So Freeman
2 for 2 on fractions.
Yeah, I was going to say, clearly the book is there, right? If he's not going to win them, he's going to muck it up and allow his defense and maybe bang up Banjo a little bit as this game goes on.
And with no hesitation, he bounces down to see Ryan Woodland. And again, Gavin Duran releases onto the field, the young 8th grader.
And here's Caden Lennon. Love this guy's size. He's just a sophomore. Dave, he's 6'4", 200. A big-time D1 potential guy. It'll be a big year for him, I think, on the summer circuit as well. There you see 25. Dodging from up top, using that size and strength. Slide comes to him. Great look, and there's the tying goal by Kyle Wilson.
Buddy Krummenacker's number 40 jersey getting some shine here. Really good initiation here by Lennon. As you said, puts the shoulder down into the bull dodge. Draws the slide from the other shorty. Nice spot shot by Kyle Wilson, high to high. Bass Bradley Hamroff. Tie ball game.
Wilson's 13th goal of the year. Lennon, assist number 2. Just getting better as this season has gone. And also getting more playing time, right? You get the experience. You get the confidence. Back we go. Mangio. Nice face-off win there. This time it wasn't
Papagalis was
Freeman.
in there.
It was the usual, if you will, face-off guy in Papagalis, and you wonder if that's also maybe saving Freeman, right? It's not the college rules where you get 3 infractions and you're in the box, but certainly the officials have been calling it on Freeman. So 3 for 3 on face-off wins for Mangio.
You have to remember, if you put Freeman at the face-off stripe and he gets an infraction, sure, you're saving yourself a fast break, but he's going to be tired. You know, that's a lot of effort for him to get in there and try to get dirty and keep that a 50-50 ground ball. So by the time he gets down low and switches on to Woodland, the ball gets to Woodland fast enough, he could exploit that.
Here is your goal scorer, Kyle Wilson. Backs up. He'll dodge here. Gets top side, looks for options. Looks to round the cage.
Good job by Cal Gober there to keep him on the perimeter.
Here's Agers. What a family, a lacrosse family here at Farmingdale. Brody, his older brother, a goalie at St. John's, sister, Riley at BU. And another turnover for the Dalers. Really, sorry, Dave, I was going to say the 2 Port possessions so far have been off of those errant passes out to the midfield.
We talked about Caden Lennon doing a good job of getting that assist for Farmingdale's first goal, but sometimes an inexperienced sophomore, those are the sort of mistakes that happen. Not able to handle the pass, and the Vikings will get another possession here.
Jacobson gets it to Kravitz. Swings it opposite side. And there is Haberman. All eyes will be on number 3 here today, as they are every time he is on the field. Good off-ball movement by Haberman as well, getting into a shooting space. They work it to X. Up top, the low to low, and a save by Caputo.
Great job by Caputo. You can see that he's fired up. Also, great backup by Farmingdale, as Ryan Thomas was first to the line or closest to the ball. So again, solid stop for the sophomore. Again, arguably one of the best overall 2024s, as Farmingdale really pushes the issue on the long clearing pass.
Yeah, it bounced, and it was a fortunate one there as well, as it's recovered.
Good awareness by Matt Levantini to bring that one in.
Yep. And here's Brendan O'Keefe.
The other super sophomore.
5 goals, 6 assists. He was the only freshman on the team a year ago, was O'Keefe, number 9. And here comes Ramos again. Ramos ahead of steam, lowers the shoulder, back out. That's an errant pass off the stick
Of McCarthy.
Loose ball. Ground balls are so important in this one. And picking it up were the Dalers.
And we see Hudson Greenberg in there again. Didn't start today's game, but a senior defenseman and a 2-year starter who's working back in rotation with Gavin Duran. So again, you know that Port Washington's putting a lot of personnel there.
Look at that move to the cage. You win your individual battle, and Bergeson buries it.
Port Washington has a lot of defensive personnel. Farmingdale has a lot of offensive personnel. Chris Bergeson, the junior midfielder, committed to Mercy. Gets a matchup here against the pole, gets inside.
That was Matt Hillman.
And Matt Hillman was beat on that one. Not typical of him, the strong junior, who also got a lot of playing time last year as a sophomore, but great initiative there by Farmingdale to get the lead.
Well, the Dalers' shooting percentage, just like their face-off game, is perfect right now. 4 of 4 at the face-off X, and 2 shots and 2 goals for the Dalers. If you're a head coach, you sign up for those numbers immediately.
A lot of efficiency, and Port Washington's lone goal is off of a broken over and back. So Farmingdale definitely settling into what they do. They'll probably milk out as many possessions as they can. Again, no shot clock in high school lacrosse, so they could do that.
O'Keefe goes, turning, firing a low shot. That was wide of the mark, and no backup there either off of that shot by Trevor Gayron.
Creative shot by Trevor Gayron with the Canadian shuffle. No backup. Good awareness by Bradley Hamroff to get this going back Port Washington's way.
Here's Haberman. Switches to his left. He's got Bolello on him, and we love that matchup.
You got to think the sun's got to be a factor. We saw that in the over and back with Farmingdale. I think that Kravitz had some issues bringing that one in. So definitely a lot of sun on the field. We'll see how that settles in for the rest of this game.
Yeah, and this time of year, too, we'll see a lot of it, I think, throughout this game. It's not like it's going to be a 7 o'clock sundown, right? Nice pass, shot wide of the mark by Meyer, who hits the ground hard off the check by Joe Bleck.
Nope, 6:30 start. I don't think we're going to be turning on the lights tonight, Dylan.
Oh, great inside dodge. Save by Caputo. And we go the other way.
Not exactly sure what happened there. Good save by Caputo. Port Washington didn't just drop the ball, dropped the stick. And Farmingdale will repossess. Every possession for Port Washington is going to be important. They're not going to win a lot of face-offs today. Farmingdale is going to take a lot of time off the clock every time they have the opportunity to go on offense. So can't be making unforced errors like that.
Bergeson, look out in the rear view as Wilson backs out. And now Lennon comes out of the box on that switch with the pole. He'll play catch up top. And again, look for him the bull dodge. Turns, fires on cage, and Hamroff makes the save.
Hamroff did a good job of tracking that. Again, with the way that the sun is setting, Hamroff actually has the advantage. He's actually in the shade. So he was able to track that well. Nice low shot by Lennon. I'm not sure he got a bounce on it. Good save for Port Washington as they come across midfield here.
A bit of a ride there for Farmingdale, and it's broken by the Vikings as Meyer. He's got some room, works it to X. And back up top now to Feinstein. Inside of 2 minutes left in this first quarter, the Dalers with a 2-1 lead. Here's Meyer. Will the slide come to X? Quick movement. Little stutter step, hesitation. McCarthy. And it stays with the Vikings.
I think that shot got eaten down in front before it reached Caputo there. But a good job here by Isaac Neal's team to take a long possession of themselves here, give their defense a break, try to tie up this ballgame.
Here's Kravitz. Tries to go inside roll. It's not there. And here's Haberman up top. Where Haberman goes, Bolello goes. Slide comes as well. Ball on the turf, picked back up by Feinstein.
Good recovery by Feinstein there again. Farmingdale will be aggressive on all those ground balls and every check that they throw.
Firing, turning, another one, eaten up. Krevitz's shot.
Caputo getting a lot of support from his defense. I think that's the third block shot by the Dalers in this game.
45 seconds left in this first quarter. Meyer works off the screen, gets separation, fires low, Caputo the save, and the rebound, though, is potted home.
I think that was Ben Krevitz. Was able to clean up the garbage in front on that one. Good ball movement by Port Washington. They were really spinning the rock and getting a lot of good spit passes. There was the initial shot by Meyer. And I think that, yes, was number 11, Krevitz, who was able to dunk that one in.
So Krevitz, his 28th goal of the year. And if you're Isaac Neal right now, and again, we'll see what happens in the face-off, another different
Hillman's going to take it.
Yeah, Hillman. So you're going to clearly give Mangio a whole bunch of different looks. But if you can go in to the break, tied at 2 after losing every face-off and giving Farmingdale a couple possessions, I mean, that's huge.
Yeah, that's a
win for the road team.
Yeah, that's a halftime result that you'll take. And there's a loose ball pushed by Freeman. Again, that's what comes with that electricity. They double pull the face-off, having Hillman take the draw, and then Freeman come on the wing. Freeman comes in hot and heavy, takes a push from behind, and Farmingdale gets the ball back.
We saw Port do that in that Syosset game when Accardo was winning everything for the Braves, so they double pulled really early in that one as well.
Hungerford is pretty modest about Mangio. I think that he's probably one of the best face-off men in the county.
Well, we could have that discussion. There's certainly a few. You would put Jack Cascadden at Garden City at the very top. And there's a bouncer. Did he beat the buzzer? He did.
Ryan Woodlands, the future member of the Hofstra Pride.
Watch it again.
Comes up over the top. No, that wasn't Woodland.
Yeah, that
was Levantini. Excuse me.
So Levantini, goal number 3 on the year. What a time to get it as well, as he gives the Dalers a 3-2 lead after 1. You're watching this Nassau Conference A showdown right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, sportscasts.
Under, and what a look.
Photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Stand out from the competition with a Varsity Media college recruiting video. A college recruiting video from Varsity Media can help save money on college tuition and land a spot on the team. We use your best plays with our custom editing effects set to music to ensure a college coach sees your athletic skills. Contact us today to book a college recruiting video. 516-403-2050 or email Jeff at varsitymedia.net.
We welcome you back to Don Snyder Stadium. Beautiful night here for Lacrosse. Dylan Butler, Dave Franklin here with you after 1 quarter. The Dalers with a 1-goal lead in this pivotal Nassau Conference A showdown. The winner will guarantee themselves a top 2 seed in the upcoming Nassau Conference A playoffs, which is, again, so critical. You avoid that first round game. You only have those 6 teams that make it into the postseason, so you go 3, 6, 4, 5 in that first game, and then the top 2 seeds enter the postseason, or the playoffs, I should say, in the semifinal round. Semifinals and finals, thankfully back as they've been back at Hofstra. That should be a lot of fun as well.
Get ready for the second quarter face-off. Here we see Port Washington double pole again with Freeman and Hillman. Anthony Belomo is down low. Short stick on D.
And the first one that's really had to be scrapped for. And Hillman comes away.
He looks for Freeman on the inside for the offensive opportunity.
Oh, and the bouncer wide. Somehow it found its way through. And
that's going to be... Ooh.
That shot by Meyer was wide.
Not sure about the call there. I think that went off the stick of Schmeichel as he was trying to scoop that up, but we'll go back Farmingdale's way. If Port Washington was able to possess that would have been a great start to the second quarter. Try to get that goal back, take Mangio off his game. Good job by Hillman to make that a 50-50 ground ball. Get it off the turf and move it into the middle.
So during the break, we kind of broke it down, but for you guys at home, you know, the power rankings, if you will, of maybe face-off guys in Nassau, I'd probably put Cascade in 1, a very close 2, if not 1, Cal Gerard, because in that Woodstick game, he did win one more face-off than Cascadin did.
Yep. And then
probably 3 Accardo, and then somewhere like 4 or so could be
Mangio. Yep.
Mangio, yeah.
I just think he's like in the top 5 for sure. Like certainly part of the conversation. He really emerged last year as a sophomore, made a commitment over the summer to Binghamton, and will certainly be in the top spot next year.
Woodland! Once he spun off that first defender, he was going nowhere but to the cage, and Woodland gets goal number 31 on the season.
We misquoted the last goal as Levantini was able to get that one to close up the first quarter. Here we see Lennon make the initial dodge. Another two-man game. The first goal that Farmingdale scored was a two-man game inverted behind the cage. This time we see Lennon operate it from the top. He exchanges with Woodland, who gets inside and gives Farmingdale a 2-goal lead.
And that's the thing, too. If you're going to hedge on Woodland, you better have the help.
Absolutely.
Because he's coming right to the cage.
Yep.
Another violation on the face-off, so we'll go to the Dalers once again.
So again, both teams working that two-man game. Port Washington's first goal was on a nice two-man exchange behind the cage. Farmingdale gets one there. And again, we're seeing more layers come out of Lennon's game. We know that he's a bull dodger. He could take it to the rack, but there you see him defer off of a dodge, make a quick pass, and really get more involved in the offensive team dynamic.
Yeah, I mean, he's a matchup problem, right? Because he can get downhill, he can dodge.
And he'll draw slides early.
And he will draw slides early, and he's got the power as well. Yard sale.
I think the Turf Monster was that yard sale on the other super sophomore for Farmingdale, Brendan O'Keefe, the only, as you mentioned, the only freshman who was on this varsity roster last year.
So Sean Cassidy, a part of that second midfield unit, great guy too, that kind of glue guy that you want. He's that last off the bus to make sure everything's clean kind of guy who also brings he makes sure that the seniors are doing the right thing in practice, not afraid to let them know when they're not. You need that kind of guy. Great skip pass, going to the cage, firing high, but Caputo sees it all the way. Jacobson denied.
Port Washington again throwing a lot of different looks at Farmingdale. Farmingdale's doing well to recover. Great save by the sophomore goalkeeper. You'd have to think that his confidence is high in this one so far.
100%. Unofficially, we've got him for 4. And now some numbers if Farmingdale can move the ball quickly.
Failure to advance on the clear.
The ball bounced around a little bit as here comes the Vikings.
Right back the other way. They have numbers.
Goal line extended.
Good recovery by Farmingdale there.
Yeah, Wilson, but still spinning and turning as Krevitz, his second of the game, pulls the Vikings back a goal.
Krevitz really showing his experience here, the senior attackman with his second goal of the game. He had numbers here. He deferred a little bit, took it back behind the cage, got the matchup that he wanted on Kyle Wilson, ultimately reversed his direction, came back on the left side. And a nice slow finish past Caputo.
Krevitz, one of those guys who's always striving to get better. He's got the good vision, the feel around the goal. A guy, too, Dave, and you love it, biding his time, working hard in practice the last couple years, knows he's now one of the guys, right? A starting attackman, and he's done well with that role. Goal number 29
Freeman wins the faceoff.
And Freeman wins the faceoff.
Will it turn into a possession? I think maybe. Good timeout by Port Washington. Great timeout.
You saw it going for the ground ball was Meyer, but his momentum was carrying him to the post, to the sideline. So an important timeout.
But that was a Quinn Ween by Freeman. Won it right back, scooped up the ground ball, was fast to get rid of it. And again, a good timeout by Port Washington. They'll get credit for a face-off win. That will actually be their second, so they're neutralizing Mangio a little bit when they started off the game by just forcing infractions. But here's a good opportunity for them to possess, good timeout, and Coach Neal will take it to the whiteboard.
Let's take a look at Ben Turchin's Lax Sweet 16, and you see a change at the very top. Mount Sinai in at number 1 after St. Anthony's loses to Darien. Shore-Wading River at number 3. Why is that especially significant? Because those two teams will play each other tomorrow night out at Mount Sinai, and we'll have that game for you on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Perhaps the Suffolk game of the year. Mm-hmm. It's hard to think there's been a better one, and that's going to be a huge matchup. 2 teams undefeated, 2 teams going for the Division II title, and certainly, as we expect with this one, could be round 1 of 2 in this season.
Preview.
Off the timeout, here's Meyer. Lowers the shoulder.
Meyer draws Smeichel right away. Long stick midi, again, going to continue his athletic career as a preferred walk-on for the Rutgers football team in the Big Ten.
Yeah, and you know what? He might have had an opportunity to play there as well in lacrosse. He is just
he might still.
Super athletic.
We've seen it at Navy. It could happen in New Jersey.
Oh, the look. Incomplete pass. It goes back out to midfield. The ground ball easily scooped up by Haberman, though. Yeah, I mean, we see it throughout, right? You see Nakai Montgomery, right? Running back, star player for Duke, and Xavier Arline. That shot off the outside of the net by Meyer.
Ooh, and they're going to call Farmingdale for in and out of the crease. I think what ultimately happened there is Ryan Thomas scooped up that ground ball with his foot in the crease and then came out and tried to place it back in. And with that, Port Washington will get the ball back. It happened very quickly. That's the only thing I can imagine. I did see an in and out call, but at no point did Caputo really possess it.
I was going to say, so Arline, right, a star at Shore-Wading River, went to play at Navy and suddenly became the quarterback of the Navy football team as well. What a fantastic look. It's Kravitz again, and denied once again by Caputo.
Caputo's doing a good job of matching hands, getting good vision on this shooter. Again, Kravitz is off to an early start with 2 goals, taking advantage of matchups, not afraid to go to the goal.
Now Meyer tries the same, rings it off the far post.
Port Washington is initiating a lot from X so far today. And Meyer could go from anywhere.
Meyer saved again. Look out. Caputo's out. Sliding in. It's a goal.
Kravitz gets a hat trick, and that's the second one that he'll get off a rebound.
Talk about getting to the dirty spot, right? Watch Kravitz here.
What a highlight reel goal. Here's the outside shot by Meyer. Draws the slide. He actually could have went down low to Kravitz. Kravitz literally gets the rebound off the stick of Caputo, turns around, diving shot, goal counts, landed in the crease, but again, released the ball before he crossed the line, again, because he was diving away from the goal mouth.
Well, I think more. I thought he was going towards because he had a pause. He stopped himself before he got in because he wasn't able to get out in front because there's so many white jerseys around him.
As long as he's
great heady play.
As long as he's not inadvertently going toward the direction of the goal line or the goalie, the goal counts.
All right, so 4-4 is the score. Win by Mangio. So now the Daler is looking to respond.
Clean win by Mangio. We haven't seen a lot of clean faceoffs here, and again, coming off of that goal, you know that Farmingdale wants to get one of their most confident players back into the zone and get a long possession, which they haven't had in a minute.
Wilson. Good look. Great look. Turnaround shot. It deflected off a pole. That attempt was by Hickes. The backup was there.
You just got to think what could have happened if Hickes had the stick in his right hand on that one, didn't have to turn and shoot. Could have had an easy release right off the feet.
They'll initiate from X as well. Turning there was Agers. Back up top there is Lennon.
Lennon draws Hillman now.
Wilson.
A lot of interchangeability with the Port Washington defensive personnel.
I think you can make the argument as well with the Daler's attack, right?
Absolutely.
There's Wilson! Oh, filthy from X.
Talking about the interchangeability, there's a goal by a midfielder initiated from X. Wilson wearing the famous number 40. He'll stay local and continue his collegiate career at SUNY Farmingdale. Nice pivot off the spin dodge, gets his hands free, and pings the corner. Pings it right under the crossbar.
So his second goal of the game.
And you got to think number 40s of past, Matt Danowski, Dom Chaccio. Happy with how this young man is performing so far.
Yeah, you'd even go Matt DeLuca, even though he was in the cage, but I'm sure he likes what he sees as well.
No question.
Papagallis looking for the face-off. It's still loose. One thing that Port is very good at are getting these. And it's still loose, and a big-time GB picked up by Pantorno.
Pantorno, the younger player in the Daler's defensive unit, picks up the ground balls coming all the way horizontally across the field. And a good timeout by Coach Hungerford.
Matt Pantorno, the third Pantorno to start on the Daler's defense, right? So the Pantoro family just churns out those poles to play for the Dailers. You love to see it. Let's take a look again. We were mentioning before upcoming games. A great slate for you, especially tomorrow. It's that kind of rare Thursday that you've got to be watching us here on Varsity Media. Again, we start things off at Mount Sinai, a 5:30 start for that one. It is senior night, and a certain young man named Joey Spallina having his final regular season home game for the Mustangs against the rival Shoreham-Wading River Wildcats. That should be a great one. Go to the nighttime slate. It's Southside. It's Cold Spring Harbor. That is a big-time matchup. And then one of the games you circle on your calendar, whatever fan you are. You're just a lacrosse fan. You want to watch Chaminade and Manhasset. It is Reeves Rock the 13th. Reeves Rock will be played out at Manhasset High School under the lights. That was supposed to be a Saturday game. It got postponed because of the weather, switched to Thursday night. And you and I will be on the call out at Syosset for another huge Nassau Conference A showdown as Massapequa and Syosset lock horns again, two teams that don't have a lot of like, nor do Chaminade and St. Anthony's. And that is for all the marbles for the Nassau-Suffolk Catholic AAA Championship out at Stewart Stadium, the home of championship lacrosse, I feel like, really throughout the island. It will be the home of the NCAA quarterfinals again this year. So that one should be a really fun one, and will soon be home to Ryan Woodland as well. So always fun. It's a great, great lacrosse stadium now, right? I mean, the football fanatics will talk about the days gone by, but it is very much a lacrosse stadium now, and the PLL will play there. Yep. The NCAAs will play there, and the top high school players again this year will be there once again. Wilson, as Haberman lost his stick on that attempted check, and Bergerson comes away.
Good opportunity for Farmingdale to possess here. We talked about the sunlight and the sun setting, so now we've ultimately flipped up the quarters. We have a procedure call on Farmingdale, and Port Washington will take it the other way. So Coach Hungerford calls the timeout when Patorno was holding the ball a little bit too long. He wanted to get into a nice offensive possession. Doesn't work out. Vikings get the ball back.
Yeah, that's especially, I think, super frustrating for any coach, right? Because you call a timeout, you draw something up, and then you get a procedure penalty going the other way, and you turn the ball over. Here's Meyer now. Meyer spins, looks for options, fakes the pass, lowers the shoulder, finds a cutter. Feinstein, and Caputo says no.
Caputo's made a lot of great saves in this game. And what about all the work that Kyle Wilson's doing? He scored 2 goals. He's also playing a lot of defensive midfield.
What I will say is that he's seeing a lot of these shots, right? Not a lot of changing of planes for the Vikings.
Yep. And he's got the better vision now in the shape.
So you go the other way. Hickes. Chased, gets it back out top to Ramos. 4 goals, 4 assists. We mentioned Lorenzo, a freshman at Binghamton. And Tommaso, like Lorenzo, a great athlete, right? 1,000 yards in 8 games in the football season, all-county fullback as a junior as well. Change of direction, change of pace kind of guy.
Very similar to number 2 on the other side. An initiator from midfield, shifty, can dodge both ways. A lot of similarities there between Tommaso Ramos and Luke Meyer.
Low shot and a goal. How about that look by Hickes?
So the Farmingdale Dalers, who are soon to be Farmingdale Rams, both performing in this one. James Hickes does a good job of utilizing the screen here. So you'll see Ramos move it to Hickes. Hickes will dodge right off the pass, goes by Freeman, and then when he gets the short stick in front of him, that's when he decides to release the ball. And I don't think Bradley Hammeroff had very good vision on that one.
Hickes, a terrific inside finisher and cutter, has the dodging ability as well. 22nd goal of the year for the guy, the senior, who does a little bit of everything, a lot of those little things. And Mangio wins it, takes it for the cage, and that shot went off of the stick of a pole and deflects wide.
Good recovery check there by Port Washington. Again, that's what Coach Isaac Neal doesn't want. That's why he's throwing all these different looks at the face-off stripe to prevent Mangio from making it and taking it and going right to the goal. He knew coming into this one that Alex Papagalis wouldn't be able to neutralize him well enough.
He is, though, 9 of 11 to this point. As there's Lennon now. And they work it up top. There is O'Keefe once again. Smooth, two-handed, skilled. Not the biggest guy, but he's got great stick skills.
Missed exchange there by Wilson, but good recovery. Brendan O'Keefe, definitely a dynamic player. Coach Hungerford thinks he could be really one of those top recruits.
Step down shot, and there's a save by Hammeroff. Quick outlet for him.
Not sure that clearing pass is going to connect. It's going to go out of bounds and back to Farmingdale. Brendan O'Keefe, who we were just talking about, takes a high-to-high shot. As he matures and gets older, he'll learn how to change levels and opportunities like that. Hammeroff a little bit too anxious to get that one out of his stick.
Yeah, maybe show high, go low.
Yep.
Bouncer to Lennon, look out. He doesn't have a problem with the physicality, that's for sure. Hands off. Low shot by Woodland. I thought Lennon was maybe a little too unselfish on that one. He had a better shooting angle, it appeared.
Yep. He passed the open man. Gavin Durant took a gamble there by approaching him the way that he did. Obviously, Lennon ran right by him. Missed opportunity down low on the fast break.
6-4 the score. The Dalers with the lead in the final 2.5 minutes of this entertaining first half. Dodging from the top is Ramos. Little jitterbug move by Ramos. Pops it to the outside. Head on a swivel looking for options. Goes to X. That's where Agers operates. Agers up top to Wilson.
Wilson's looking for the hat trick. He's got a shorty.
Got the screen as well. Switch to his left. Gets it to the big boy. The big young man, Lennon!
That was a sophomore versus an 8th grader.
So the experience wins out.
Yeah. A battle of two young Titans here. Wilson, shifty at the top, goes across. We've talked about him a little bit. Gavin Duran tries to body up and match the physicality of Lennon. Lennon says no, changes his direction, and a powerful goal to put Farmingdale up by 3.
No surprise, Caden Lennon, a big weight room guy, a football player as well for Buddy Krummenacher. And Mangio, another clean face-off win. He's getting into a groove now.
On the last 3 in a row.
10 of 12 now.
And again, you just talk about how those resources are dwindling now for Port Washington. You can't put Hillman and Freeman at the stripe all day if you want to neutralize this Farmingdale attack that's coming at you from all angles at this point.
Because it's going to hurt you on this side of the field.
Yes, sir.
Here's Levantini, the Bridgeport commit, who has improved vastly from a year ago.
Has a goal in this game. It's closed out. Scored that buzzer beater at the first quarter.
Yeah, great size, strong, fast. Here comes O'Keefe. Hands it off. Bergerson back up top. It is Levantini. Does a really good job playing within himself in the Daler system.
Levantini and Ryan Thomas will both be going to play Bridgeport at the Division II level. A lot of good Division II recruits in this game.
Getting topside, switching hands to the left. Levantini have a game. His second, and he extends the Dalers' lead.
You got to think the coaching staff at Bridgeport's going to be happy about that one. Good matchup here going against Anthony Belomo. Split dodge, comes down the alley, as you said, turns back, changes hands, hands free, and ultimately gets the hands of Bradley Hammeroff a little bit tied up there and finishes that one short side, Dylan.
He just matched his season mark for goals, and that's still within the first, 23 minutes of this game. What a game for Levantini. And this time it's Mangio going early. Maybe he was a little pumped with that goal.
Yep, and that's a good, important possession for Port Washington here.
A huge one. It's been all Dalers in this second half of the second quarter, and how big is it? Isaac Neal will call timeout to discuss things in this final 38 seconds. You get a goal here, it's a little more manageable. It's only a 3-goal deficit, and you work on some different things. If it's 4, or even at worst case, you give something away and you give up something like we saw the buzzer beater by Levantini, that's even worse for the Vikings.
Well, what's really interesting is we have an 8-4 ball game. We're certainly on pace to beat the total score of the last 2 times these teams face each other. Again, last year in the regular season, Port Washington won 9-5, and then only 10 combined goals in the playoff game, which Farmingdale won 6-4. So already a more high-scoring Port Washington-Farmingdale game than we're used to.
And this is a great sportscast, and if you want to bring your game to life, it's the Varsity Media Sportscast. We've got announcers, multiple cameras, instant replays and graphics. It's great for your rivalry game, senior day, just any general promotion of your team. Contact us to book a sportscast, 516-403-2050, or visit varsitymedia.net. Dylan Butler, Dave Franklin, beautiful night here in Farmingdale. Late regular season as the Dalers looking to get a defensive stop and take a 4-goal lead into the second half.
Haberman's been quiet. He'll start here. Again, this is the matchup we've been talking about. 3-on-50, Haberman versus Bolello. Loyola versus Binghamton. Greyhound versus Bearcat.
Haberman, 34 goals and 15 assists on the year. Doesn't force it, though. He also plays within the system. Slide comes, tries the inside roll, which is kind of a combination of a bull dodge there for a moment, had to pop it back out.
Yep. He'll have to be more physical playing against Bolello. He knows that.
Meyer has no problem bringing the physicality, and he gets a huge goal right through the teeth of the Farmingdale defense.
I think he dodged through about 5 players there on the Daler defense. Good job by Haberman. Again, he drew a lot of attention there when he was maneuvering around the bottom left-hand corner. He gets to Meyer, who gets a quick start, dodges right on Paterno. Again, dodges fire, sees fire from 3 different people. Bolello ultimately came in on him. Trevor Gayron collapsed in there, but he was able to get off the shot with the traffic in front. 8-5 Farmingdale.
Huge goal with 14 seconds left. Mangio kicks it forward. Bergerson comes up with the ground ball.
Coach Hungerford will counter with the timeout.
8 seconds left. Why
Chess
not?
match.
For Meyer, goal number 19 of the year, and he's a junior. Bound for Dartmouth is Luke Meyer. What a big goal for him. And he's been that guy, too, in that midfield. Obviously, he's going both ways, but not that you forget about him, but obviously Haberman gets all the attention, right? So Meyer can, maybe get the second best defender or get the long stick who's maybe not paying attention or not drawn to Haberman and get some looks from that midfield spot.
Well, Meyer had 3 goals in last year's win over Farmingdale in the regular season, the 9-5 victory that the Vikings had right here on this field. You and I were there. We're back here 1 year later. And, you're absolutely right. Again, both attack units for both teams are very much senior-driven. The Port Washington midfield is a little bit younger, as you said in the top of the broadcast. They're juniors, but they have less experience, or rather, even as it relates to McCarthy and some of the other Port Washington personnel. Cal Gober is a junior. And again, when you have an 8th grader like Gavin Duran on defense, you really need somebody who could lead from the midfield position, both offensively and defensively. But Luke Meyer, I was thinking earlier in the game that that if Port Washington wins, he might not be a guy who jumps off the score sheet. He might be doing a lot of the little things and initiating a lot in the clear and getting the ball around. But that time, he really took matters into his own hands to score through the teeth of the Farmingdale defense, as you said.
All right, 8 seconds. Let's see what they do here off the timeout. Bergerson hands off. Bergerson, low shot. Probably not what was drawn up by the Dalers. That was a fairly simple save by Hamroff, his 3rd of the first half. So the Dalers' big second quarter, they extend their lead and they go into the halftime break with an 8-5 lead over Port Washington. You're watching this Nassau Conference A showdown right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Stand out from the competition with a Varsity Media college recruiting video. A college recruiting video from Varsity Media can help save money on college tuition and land a spot on the team. We use your best plays with our custom editing effect set to music to ensure a college coach sees your athletic skills. Contact us today to book a college recruiting video. 516-403-2050 or email jeff@varsitymedia.net.
If you're an event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event, look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net. Varsity Media is the tri-state area sports leader. We offer an array of services for any team, coach, player, athletic director, and parent. From game film to live streaming, we are available to cover your event anytime, any place. Looking for an enhanced experience? How about a professional broadcast with multiple camera angles, announcers, graphics, and instant replay? Need a highlight reel? We produce individual highlights for college recruiting and team highlight videos for end-of-season banquets. And when it comes to social media, nobody has you covered better than us. Hype videos, sideline highlights. We can tailor custom videos to make your team stand out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Why waste your time dealing with anyone else? When it comes to sports video, Varsity Media stands alone. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or online at varsitymedia.net.
For the best action shots and the best angles, look no further than Varsity Media. Our experienced photographers capture your athletes' best moments right from field level. Plus, we offer great keepsakes like bobbleheads, posters, plaques, and prints. For more information about Varsity Media's photography services, contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, SPORTSCAST,
Under, and what a look.
photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Stand out from the competition with a Varsity Media college recruiting video. A college recruiting video from Varsity Media can help save money on college tuition and land a spot on the team. We use your best plays with our custom editing effect set to music to ensure a college coach sees your athletic skills. Contact us today to book a college recruiting video. 516-403-2050 or email Jeff at varsitymedia.net.
If you're an event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event, look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net. Varsity Media is the tri-state area sports leader. We offer an array of services for any team, coach, player, athletic director, and parent. From game film to live streaming, we are available to cover your event anytime, any place. Looking for an enhanced experience? How about a professional broadcast with multiple camera angles, announcers, graphics, and instant replay? Need a highlight reel? We produce individual highlights for college recruiting and team highlight videos for end-of-season banquets. And when it comes to social media, nobody has you covered better than us. Hype videos, sideline highlights. We can tailor custom videos to make your team stand out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Why waste your time dealing with anyone else? When it comes to sports video, Varsity Media stands alone. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or online at varsitymedia.net.
For the best action shots and the best angles, look no further than Varsity Media. Our experienced photographers capture your athletes' best moments right from field level. Plus, we offer great keepsakes like bobbleheads, posters, plaques, and prints. For more information about Varsity Media's photography services, contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, SPORTSCAST,
Under, and what a look.
photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Stand out from the competition with a Varsity Media college recruiting video. A college recruiting video from Varsity Media can help save money on college tuition and land a spot on the team. We use your best plays with our custom editing effect set to music to ensure a college coach sees your athletic skills. Contact us today to book a college recruiting video. 516-403-2050 or email Jeff at varsitymedia.net.
If you're an event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event, look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net. Varsity Media is the tri-state area sports leader. We offer an array of services for any team, coach, player, athletic director, and parent. From game film to live streaming, we are available to cover your event anytime, any place. Looking for an enhanced experience? How about a professional broadcast with multiple camera angles, announcers, graphics, and instant replay? Need a highlight reel? We produce individual highlights for college recruiting and team highlight videos for end-of-season banquets. And when it comes to social media, nobody has you covered better than us. Hype videos, sideline highlights. We can tailor custom videos to make your team stand out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Why waste your time dealing with anyone else? When it comes to sports video, Varsity Media stands alone. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or online at varsitymedia.net.
For the best action shots and the best angles, look no further than Varsity Media. Our experienced photographers capture your athletes' best moments right from field level. Plus, we offer great keepsakes like bobbleheads, posters, plaques, and prints. For more information about Varsity Media's photography services, contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, SPORTSCAST,
Under, and what a look.
photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Look at that. How about Matt McCallum-Brown, huh? What an image that is. I feel like that's one of those where you need like the temperature and like the 5-day forecast like laid out below that.
I'm sure that Bob Ross would like to do a lot with that canvas. That's for sure. That's a beautiful Nassau County sunset here in Farmingdale.
Getting ready for the start of the second half as those guys, the Dalers, with an 8-5 lead over the Vikings. Dylan Butler, Dave Franklin here with you. I'll take a look at some of the first half stats. And Port Washington a little more active in their shooting, 19-15 the edge there, which conversely means a little more saves or a few more saves for Caputo. He's been very good, 7 saves for him. Hammeroff with just 3 in the face-off differential. We expected it to be probably a big number, and it has been, as Mangio, who comes in at like 66, 67%, is increasing his numbers there, going 11 of 14, I should say. And an interesting one there, too, at the bottom, right? In a game that is as hotly contested and as important as it is for these two teams, neither being man up just yet, which you'd say, considering the issues that Port Washington has had, and of course I say that as we've got a man up to start the second half, as the Dalers looks like they are down a man.
Yep, Ryan Woodland took a penalty at the end of the half. Port Washington starts man up and with possession.
And that's huge for them, right? You don't have to take the face off.
And Freeman's playing man up on the wing with a long pole.
So we didn't see any notification on how long or what this penalty is. And we'll know in a moment because we're just approaching the 30-second mark. That shot by Haberman over the cage.
Outside shot. Patorno had good position on that one, so Haberman trying to force the issue and get himself onto the score sheet here as Freeman works the man up on the wing.
Here's Meyer. Switches to his right. Jump shot. Bounced wide.
Nice release by Meyer. Typically in a man-up set, you don't dodge straight to the goal, but he's shifty, so he'll move around the perimeter and try to move the defense.
Just a minute infraction as Haberman, skip pass, low to low, and the goal, the man-up goal as well by Jacobson.
Gavin Jacobson, who will be going to Binghamton with Anthony Bolello, who's on the defensive side of the stands. A good ball movement by Port Washington, spinning the rock. Again, a lot of attention diverted from the near side here as Freeman is hanging out on the far wing with a threat with that long pole. They're able to skip it around to Jacobson, and the future Bearcat finishes low and short side on the sophomore goalkeeper at Farmingdale.
18th goal of the year. Big one there for Port as Freeman goes back to battle at the X, and it gets one as Schmeichel comes away.
We were talking about at halftime how we really haven't called Schmeichel's name very much, as he'll ultimately give the ball right back to Freeman. Port Washington double pulled the face-off again. Schmeichel was able to get the ground ball, but errant pass there gives possession back to the Vikings.
And there's Haberman. Bolello on him.
3 verse 50.
Haberman. Bolello takes a few whacks. Haberman gets inside to the cage. Flag is thrown. Do we count the goal? We do.
And one. That's the second time today where a Port Washington Dodger made his way through the entire Farmingdale defense. Haberman looking to get his first tally on the score sheet, takes Bilello down the alley. Wilson shows and hedges early here. Instead of moving the ball, Haberman forces the issue, gets further inside. And another diving goal again, and gets the push from behind as he's scoring as well. So that will be that shouldn't be a time-serving penalty. It looks like we're all even on the face-off here.
Yeah, they waved that off.
But once again, as we were in the closing seconds of the second quarter, we weren't sure if this was going to be close. Now the game is back within one.
And Freeman jumps on Mangio after that face-off. So
no penalties yet. Freeman's had 2 infractions, both off the face-off. 1 push from behind and 1 was a pretty blatant hold there as he was able to actually win the rake forward. But
I mean, he plays on that line, right? And obviously there's times he goes over the line. Last year more so, and Isaac Neal said we've been trying to rein him in a little bit because, again, he's so important, right, to everything that they do. So
and he does everything.
Yeah.
He plays LSM in multiple positions. He'll play close defense and draw the other team's best attacker. We've seen him play man-up offense today.
He's got more goals than some of the middies, and he has that long pole. There's Wilson trying to work off the screen by Levantini. Wilson gets to the outside and to X.
Look at the energy by Wilson as he inverts here again. He's been playing a lot of defensive midfield here today. He was one of the midfielders who actually collapsed on Haberman on that last goal, as now he'll try to take it back.
Slide comes. They switch it. Here is Woodland switching to his right. Big save by Hammeroff.
Hammeroff really bailed out Freeman there, who just got beat straight up by Woodland, who was able to dance around him.
Hammeroff. Nice pass to McCarthy on the clearing attempt. McCarthy nearly pushed out, stays in. McCarthy needs some help, pushes it back out to the steady hands of Henry Haberman. So just like that, Port has a chance to tie. Skip past the flex off the pole. That was Schmeichel getting his stick on that, battling for the loose ball.
That's a tough one. I think Port Washington kicked it out. It should stay with Farmingdale.
No, stay with Port. There's the call. And there's Krevitz, 3-1 on the day. Operates from X. Got Ryan Thomas on him. Tries to get inside. Skips it to the far side. Nothing doing. Great pole work by the Dalers.
Good slide by Bilello from the back. We've seen Krevitz initiate from X all day. That time, he lobbed over that skip pass, gave Bilello enough time to slough off of his man and make that back check.
I gave credit to the Poles, but how about Levantini? He was the one who had the call as turnover number 20. Woodland fires it down to the crease. Agers tries to save it, unable to do so. So this has been the one part you'd imagine that Hungerford will have an issue with, right? Being a little bit sloppy on the offensive end. You've seen at least now 3 unforced turnovers on this side of the ball.
Well, remember, they called the timeout in order to draw up a good offensive play, which they defaulted on. They allowed Port Washington to score as the second quarter was expiring, and look at the way the second half has started here.
Knocked down by Bilello on Haberman. That has been an all-county matchup right now. It's been so much fun to watch those two guys do battle.
Port Washington is really extending their attack when you see Gavin Jacobson and Haberman inverting from attack and really bringing the Farmingdale Poles upward.
Haberman now.
Almost forcing the Farmingdale defenders to act like LSMs.
Bilello splits defenders, fires high, but Bilello affected that shot. Backup was there.
Haberman again going right through the teeth of the defense. Took Bilello right to the rack and drew the slide of Ryan Thomas. No trepidation.
Krevitz tries to get to the crease. Those passes have to be so precise. Oh, Caputo ranges out to his right to make the save to deny Feinstein.
Caputo's having a really great game here today, seeing the ball well, extending his body, matching stick.
Look out. 8th save, and again, an errant pass, and the Dalers turn it over.
Yep, continues to be sloppy. Every time they do something well, it's like they take 1 step forward and 2 steps back. Goalie makes a great save. They get the clear across the midfield line, throw the ball away. It's got to be frustrating Coach Hungerford here in the second half.
Because you're just gifting possessions on the other side. And you're forcing this guy to keep making saves. Caputo, another one.
Again, Coach Hungerford is a former Farmingdale goalie. I asked Coach Neal, how do you feel about Seaman not being in the cage? He played excellent last year, especially in this game. Top recruit going to St. John's. Have a guy with a little less experience. He's like, that means nothing to me. That sophomore has been great all year. Head coach is a goalie guy. That's not something that we look to exploit in our game plan. We prepare for a great goalie every time we play Farmingdale.
Yeah, and that's been one of the things, certain schools produce certain athletes, right? Maybe great face-off guys out of Smithtown, and here at Farmingdale, it is very much about the goalies. Some incredible goalies have come through the Dale as Wilson works it to X.
And Seaman might be one of the best ones in a long time.
We mentioned Brody Agers before, Jack Agers' older brother, as Levantini can't get that shot off. He's at St. John's currently. You mentioned Matt DeLuca before, of course, currently in the PLL, played his collegiate ball at Delaware.
Yep.
And again, a guy who wore that prestigious 40. Here is Jack Agers.
In relation to Delaware's head coach, Ben DeLuca.
Yes. Firing high and wide.
Matt Levantini going head-to-head with Freeman. Farmingdale will show no fear. They will throw the kitchen sink at this Port Washington defense. Again, they know that Freeman's fiery, throws a lot of checks, might be able to draw a penalty. Farmingdale will play into that.
Here's O'Keefe trying to get the inside roll. I think Hammeroff got a piece, but he doesn't get the loose ball as Wilson comes away with it.
Hammeroff was a little hesitant going after that loose ball. Allowed Wilson to pick it up. Could have made it 50-50.
Wilson! Oh, just at the goal line.
Almost an own goal. That was almost an own goal on Stamati Gargas. He almost poked that one in. It looked like Hammeroff made the save, bounced off the pipe. His inner leg was floating around on the crease, and thankfully the Vikings keep that out of the cage.
8-7 game. You knew better at 8-4 than to expect it not to be a one-goal game, because that's pretty much all we've had here in Nassau Conference A. Heck, it's all we've had on the Varsity Media Sports Network the last couple of weeks.
And remember, Port Washington was able to start this half without a face-off. They got the ball and a man up.
Here's Haberman. He's been quiet. Don't expect that for long. Look at Bilello. What a check from behind. Now they double Krevitz, who spins, turns, a little stutter step, gets the inside roll, and Caputo makes the save.
Big ground ball there by Schmeichel to get that off the carpet when they were seeing a lot of fire in their defensive end. This is a really important clear for Farmingdale as both Krevitz and Haberman going to the goal with tenacity.
Ramos came out of the box, showed for the ball.
Bilello's going to have to carry this over the 50.
And a failure to advance.
He knew it. And Bilello's way out of position now.
Yeah, it's one of those two. You almost think that he would just throw the ball down the field, right? And make sure you're back in position.
Throw the Gilman, yep. Bilello almost got hurt on the back cut there. Haberman had a step. Port Washington didn't recognize it, but they'll completely re-go here with Luke Meyer.
The Dartmouth-bound junior, unselfish.
You see how far he brings Ryan Thomas out.
Slide comes, backs out of it. Kicks it up top.
Port Washington wants to extend. Farmingdale's close defenseman dodge down the alleys, slide from the inside. Great save again by Caputo.
Number 11 on the game for Caputo on that low bouncer.
Can Farmingdale clear now?
It has been an issue this season. Look at Schmeichel get up the field.
He's got a lane.
Schmeichel. Oh, passed it off. And Freeman intercepts. And here come the Vikings the other way.
Man, Farmingdale doing so many great things in their defensive end, especially at the goalkeeping position. Just can't bail their sophomore out.
Haberman finally finds himself free of Bolello, gets his hands free as well, but that shot was wide.
Kravitz has been great from X today, scoring goals. He's distributing a little bit off his back foot.
Look across the crease, and it's taken away again.
Can Farmingdale clear and possess?
Well, this is a perfect opportunity for the clear. Now let's see if part 2 of that equation comes with the possession. It's Agers with 90 seconds left in this third quarter, a 1-goal game.
Agers has been really quiet. We were talking about how Haberman wasn't very loud. He's ultimately stepped up, got himself on the score sheet. Agers, the senior attackman, going to Mercy, along with Bergerson. Bergerson has a goal in this game at the midfield position. Number 1 at attack, looking to get involved.
Yeah, goal production-wise, you've gotten more out of the midfield for the Dalers today, as we are now under a minute left in this first half. You've got Wilson with 2, Bergerson with 1, Levantini, a big 2 goals out of that second midfield spot. Lennon, he's got a goal as well.
And an assist.
Switches hands, gets it to Wilson. 42 seconds left in this third quarter. Lennon can't get it. And now the Vikings with a chance, perhaps, if they can clear and possess, which were 2 keys for Neal in the pregame. A chance now for them to maybe tie. Here comes Meyer to X. Ooh, Kravitz had an opportunity. Gets it back, though, and that's another shot Caputo saw all the way, denying Jacobson.
And that's an overzealous clearing pass. That is fortunately tracked down by the Dalers.
Flag on the play.
Harry Quinn. Oh.
As Freeman lost his lid.
So, we weren't seeing a lot of penalties. We did see a penalty to start the half on Farmingdale. We're not sure what that was about. See if Freeman... It looks like there's going to be a penalty on Farmingdale again. I don't think Freeman's coming to the box here. Freeman's helmet came off. There was certainly a lot of talk there, but I think that Quinn is going to get the penalty here.
Yeah, we'll get the call from the officials. I think it's a cross-check. And I think maybe the discussion is, was it high enough? We saw Freeman's lid come off, right? So if it's to the head, we see that so much in the sport of lacrosse as an unreleasable. I don't think it was to the head, though.
The refs are still talking about it. Quinn isn't in the box just yet.
The 2 coaches are well off the sideline. They're getting pushed back now as we'll get the call from the official.
Asking Coach Hungerford to take a step back before he lets everyone know what's going on here. We have a 2-minute penalty.
No, it's 2-3 with the cross-check. Slash.
I think that he does mean Quinn, though. I think he means 2-9.
I wonder if is it offsetting? Because he made 2. He had a cross-check and a slash, and we see Meyer in the box for Port Washington. Although if it was offsetting, then you would.
Or is Meyer just hanging out at attack?
He might be. Literally no one in the box. Let's count up our...
I think it might have been just offsetting non-time serving infractions.
Well, it's 6-on-5, no, for the Dalers? Well,
now Farmingdale's looking for a call as Matt Hillman was given the business as Farmingdale was closing out the half.
Well, we do know it'll be a fun final 12 minutes of regulation time. The Dalers with an 8-7 lead over Port Washington. You're watching this Nassau Conference A showdown right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, SPORTSCAST,
Thunder, and what a look!
photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Stand out from the competition with a Varsity Media college recruiting video. A college recruiting video from Varsity Media can help save money on college tuition and land a spot on the team. We use your best plays with our custom editing effects set to music to ensure a college coach sees your athletic skills. Contact us today to book a college recruiting video. 516-403-2050 or email Jeff at varsitymedia.net.
We welcome you back to Don Snyder Stadium. Dylan Butler here, Dave Freeman as well. It's the final quarter of regulation time as Farmingdale with a 1-goal lead over Port Washington.
I'm Dave Franklin. I think Matt Freeman's got the penalty.
Oh, there we go. I'm getting my Freemans, Franklins. There's a lot of confusion here.
In Farmingdale, Freeman, Franklin, Farmingdale, it's a lot.
Well, again, we both kind of saw two different signals by the officials. We saw a slash, we saw a cross check. So it could be 2 fouls on Freeman.
All we know is Freeman's not on the field and Farmingdale's man up.
Their first man up of the game.
I think you're right. I think he got a double infraction for a slash and a cross check. Again, it was getting scrappy over there on the sideline by Quinn, and we've talked about it. Freeman's a really great player. He's really electric, but again, sometimes there's an overwattage, so to speak, and that puts Port Washington in vulnerable situations.
So first man up for the Dalers. Can they capitalize with this 1-goal lead? There's Lennon. Gets it off to O'Keefe. Gets it back. The lights are on here as the sun is setting in Farmingdale. Winner of this one gets an automatic bye through the first round of the playoffs, either as the 1 or the 2 seed. So because of the 2 infractions, this should be a 2-minute man-up opportunity for the Dalers. Here's Lennon up top. They've not taken a shot just yet. Lennon will do so, and Hammeroff makes the save.
Huge save by Hammeroff. He's really bailed out his team a few times over the course of this game. And again, Farmingdale had some huge possession issues in the third quarter. Weren't able to take advantage of what they have at the face-off X. Weren't able to control the clear.
Haberman.
And for them to have gotten off to start this quarter with a man up, similarly the way that Port Washington started the second half, beneficial for them, but they do not take advantage of it. Looks like we're all even here.
I'm still counting 5, right? So we'll get one more coming on now.
Release,
so we're even here. So great job by the Vikings to kill that man-up opportunity.
Hudson Freeman comes off. Greenberg will come on now and play close D.
Downhill now comes Haberman. He's been quiet today. Haberman skips it to X.
Only 1 goal for the Loyola bound senior.
They get it to the other side. Meyer getting physical. Oh, the backhanded shot! Meyer! We are tied!
The athleticism and creativity of Meyer gets the ball from McCarthy, dodges right away on Schmeichel. Goes right into the heart of the defense with his left hand, then circles back, doesn't change hands, shuffle shot high, put a lot of velocity on that. Jimmy Caputo has been seeing the ball very well. How do you beat a goalie that's seeing the ball well? You take a creative shot like that.
Meyer's 20th goal of the year ties it up at 8 for the Vikings. Both of these teams have played so many close games, especially in conference. Mangio, the win, but look out. The Vikings are converging quickly. There's Freeman. Pushes Mangio out.
Oh, looks like there's going to be a penalty here. Coach Hungerford was trying to call for a timeout as Mangio was being pushed out. Flag is thrown. Maybe they're going to get Freeman from behind. I'm not sure, but man, Freeman's, again, been seeing a lot of time in the penalty box this fourth quarter.
A 30-second push.
On 33. So that'll be, again, assuming that he got a double infraction to start the quarter, that's going to be 2 minutes and 30 seconds that Freeman has spent in the penalty box. You know, I spoke to Coach Neal before the game about the issues that Freeman has in this regard and how they try to rein him. And he says, at this point, we don't. He's a high-energy player. Typically, he knows when he makes mistakes. And at this juncture in his senior year, we kind of just turn the switch on and we hope that the positives outweigh the negatives. But, man, 2 crucial man-down situations for Port Washington to find themselves in this fourth quarter, both at the hands of number 33. And, again, not only are you giving the ball to Farmingdale, but when Freeman gets a penalty, that's your best defensive player not on the field. Hillman gets a penalty, you still got Freeman out there.
Second man-up opportunity for the Dalers, 0 for 1. Lennon. Look at Woodland now operating from up top.
There's the release. McCarthy comes from the midfield line.
So again, that was only a 30-second infraction.
Farmingdale should have forced the issue a little bit faster there. They had a lot more time on the first double infraction that Freeman took.
Woodland up top.
But again, Freeman's still not on the field. We're all even, but Port Washington's best defensive player isn't a part of this set right now.
Woodland swings, spit inside, fires and scores! Count it as the flag is thrown. Woodland, another goal on the game.
Huge goal for Woodland. Might be an and one, as there might have been a slash there from McCarthy. That penalty will be waved off regardless, but you see Woodland operating from the wing. He knows that Freeman's not on the field. He's not dodging against the pole. That pole isn't sliding at you. 33 is nowhere to be found. Good job operating from the wing there. Gets inside, hands free, and over the stick and over the head of Bradley Hamroff.
Yeah, that would have been a hold, so they wiped that one off. 9-8 is the score now. Back with the Dalers in front. Freeman and Mangio. Wing play critical, and it's won by the Vikings.
Good recovery by Freeman. He
Cal
won that
Gober.
faceoff cleanly. It's Gober. Big way to step up after you've put your team in a vulnerable position, spending time in the penalty box. You know that they have an advantage at the faceoff X. Another possession for Farmingdale would have been incredible for them, but Freeman just wins it cleanly right against Mangio in his natural position.
Haberman and Bolello. Haberman wants to try to use the athleticism now on Bolello and get downhill. Gets a step. Lefty shot. Bounced it wide.
Good backup by Krevitz, who's been doing a great job there at X. And again, Woodland knows now that he's not going to likely see a shorty for the rest of the game.
That was shot number 30 for the Vikings. There's Meyer. He showed that creativity with the last tying goal. Can he tie it up again? Works off the screen. Harassed the whole way. Good job defensively by a guy whose name just sounds like a great pull, right? Joe Black.
Blacked him right out of the zone there.
To X. Haberman, inside roll. Oh, great slide to the ball. Skip pass. Feinstein off the bar.
Quinn's going to have to move the ball up the field effectively here. Smeichels wide open with numbers.
Jordan Smeichel steps inside. Smeichel blocked in front. Chase for the ball. Who won it?
Hamroff. Quick restart. Is he going to get it? No. Freeman will pick it up. So they're going to let the ball start in Freeman's stick. You know he's going to want to carry it. It's important that he does not make a mistake here. Again, Freeman's a great player. He does a lot of things well, but taking penalties and making mistakes in the clearing game is how he gets his team into trouble.
Oh, Hamroff. That was a tough one to midfield.
Yeah, you can't blame that one on Freeman.
Look out. Did the Dalers get a timeout? They did, as
Andy Feinstein was really going to work there.
yeah, Ramos was under all kinds of duress. We mentioned at the very top, Dave, on this one, how important this game is. You look at these schedules going forward, first for the Vikings, and again, Oceanside's a tricky team, right? So Rob Blount, you've got to make sure you come to that game prepared and play the right way. And then Hicksville as well, but you'd have to say certainly Port goes into those two games as a favorite to win, right? Same is true of Farmingdale. We'll show you their schedule now in their upcoming games, Hicksville and Plainview JFK, right? So similar upcoming games for both of these
have to
teams.
go through the comments. Yep.
Which explains another reason why this one's so important. We look back again at the standings in Nassau Conference A. The Chiefs, off of a win here at Farmingdale, a game we had for you on the Varsity Media Sports Network, are on top, a perfect 5-0. And by the way, that win at Farmingdale came after an overtime win at Port. You win those 2 games on the road, you deserve to be the top team right now in the standings, but they've got a difficult one coming up on Friday. Another game we'll have for you here against Syosset, and then Farmingdale and Port Washington. So these teams could still become the one. More likely, if it holds, if it's chalk going down, it's the 2 seed, which again, top 2 seeds earn a first round bye. So much on the line here in the final 6:38.
Syosset Massapequa on Friday should be a good one. Massapequa has been to overtime 3 times this year. They are a complete team, offensive threats in every direction. Anybody could step up at a big moment, and we might need to see somebody step up for Port Washington or Farmingdale in a big moment tonight with a 1-goal ball game with 6:29 left in the fourth quarter.
Daler's 2 losses on the year, right? To Fairfield Prep and Massapequa, a combined 3 goals. And Port Washington, 3 losses by 7 combined goals. And that's with a 5 spot given to Northport in game 1 of the regular season. You have an overtime loss to Wantagh and Massapequa.
Port Washington has 2 losses in overtime. Again, Massapequa and Wantagh, so hope see
Good
if we go
move
to
by
extra
Lennon.
today.
Fires it up top. Low shot. Saved by Hamroff.
Goaltending has been excellent at both sides. We've seen Caputo step up all day. Hamroff has made the saves that he really needs to in order to keep his team in it again.
Well, 8 now in the game for him. 12 for the new starter in the cage for the Dalers, Jimmy Caputo.
Both goalies in double digits. Again, Caputo filling in for Seaman. Senior goalie broke his hand earlier in the season against Oceanside. Took a bad shot to an unpadded area during some unseasonably cold weather earlier on in the year, but Caputo might be one of the best 2024s overalls in any position in the county. Certainly the best goalie.
Meyer. Haberman, oh! Stings it under the bar. We are tied again at 9.
We were talking about how Caputo had success seeing the ball, tracking each shot. But again,
Good luck seeing that.
Well, good luck seeing that. Haberman is a triple threat player. He could dodge, he could dish, and he could shoot from range. You see that Bilello was slumping in a little far there, allowed Haberman to get some extra time to set his feet and free his hands, and he burns that one high to high against the sophomore. Second goal of the game for Haberman.
And 36th on the year, Meyer. His 16th assist, 9-9 with 4:57 to go.
Will we go into overtime? Port Washington's 0-2.
A hold, though, on Freeman. So face-off win for Mangio. He's 15 of 19.
Again, it's important that they change the face-off rule. Typically, if you were the face-off man who suffered the infraction, you'd have to come off the field. In high school lacrosse, you don't have to do that. So that's the 3rd or 4th face-off infraction that Freeman has faced at the stripe. But again, it allows him to recover in quickly, opposed to allowing a fast break. Freeman's also had 2 face-off wins in this game as well at key times.
Dalers looking to go back up top again. Low shot, Hamroff denies O'Keefe.
Making the big saves when he needs to. That's been Hamroff tonight.
Hamroff has been the hammer as a timeout is called by Isaac Neal. We mentioned last year, right, how this sort of played out, where in the regular season here at Farmingdale, a 9-5 win for the Vikings.
Nine goals won't do it today.
Where Luke Meyer had 3, Henry Haberman had 2 and 1, Jared Morales and Jensen Weingard had 2 goals apiece, and Pat Kenny, their stellar goalie for the couple years, made 7 saves. But the revenge was had by the Dalers in the postseason, a 6-4 win in the Nassau A semifinals in a game that Ryan Woodland had 3 goals, Stevie DiCarlo had 2, and Danny Seaman had 9 saves. Great upcoming slate for you. We'll show you our upcoming sportscasts here. on the Varsity Media Sports Network. A huge Thursday for you. 3 games on deck. Shoreham Wading River at Mount Sinai. That rivalry is renewed. Only about 9 miles separate those two teams. Southside playing at Cold Spring Harbor. A fantastic Nassau Seas showdown. Then Chaminade and Manhasset. That is Reeves Rock. We go to Friday, Massapequa, Syosset. And then next Tuesday at Hofstra's Stewart Stadium, round 3 of St. Anthony's and Chaminade. That one for the championship. And the sun is setting here at Farmingdale, and we're getting late here. 4:08 to go.
The hometown crowd is getting into it.
Yeah, good student representation here for the Dalers, as many of those students now working their way to the fence, and it's the fence behind the Vikings bench as well.
You can see how Isaac Neal has his offense really spread out, really extending these defenders. They dot. Farmingdale defense
Haberman
slides hard, slides fast. They want to extend them out, make the distance between each slide longer, and give their offensive players more room. Great short stick defensive play there by Trevor Gayron. Wow. Put McCarthy right on the turf.
And almost, good job by Gayron holding up there, because almost a push from behind. Low to high. Another tying goal. Jacobson gets it.
Unsung hero of this play is McCarthy. Again, McCarthy got put on his butt by Gayron. He was able to keep possession, get back up on his 2 feet, dodge to X, start the ball movement. Gives a lot of room for Gavin Jacobson, the senior Binghamton-bound attackman, to rip it from the left wing. High to high, that's the 2nd goal in a row that Port Washington has scored high to high on Caputo. So at once the sophomore goalie was really seeing the ball well, but now Haberman and Jacobson have been able to penetrate him.
And a hold on the faceoff.
Another infraction for Haberman. But again, he's able to get into the hole, doesn't have to come off the field. See if Farmingdale's able to respond. 9 goals was able to cement the victory for Port Washington last year. 9 goals won't do it for either team this year.
And I feel like it's been a long time, if at all, in this game, the Vikings have had the lead. They've had a battle back. They had that early deficit in the first half.
And Port Washington is 8-1 when they get into double digits. Their one loss was 11-16 to Northport. But otherwise, when they get to double digits, they have 10 goals now. They are hard to beat.
Here's Agers. Gets it to X. Remember, too, with 2 minutes left, the stall warning will be on. Agers. Good pass. Low shot, and Hammeroff again. He has been rock solid, especially in this second half.
Matt Levantini had a lot of room to operate there. Hammeroff is making a lot of good low saves.
Winner, again, a top 2 seed in the Nassau Conference A playoffs and a first-round bye.
Luke Meyer's going to draw Schmeichel here. He's been all over the field today again, forcing the issue on offense, but really pushing the clearing game as well.
And now they've got to keep it in. Under 2 minutes to play in regulation time.
So now Port Washington can't spread out the offense. Right now they need to stay in the box.
Haberman.
Makes the slide shorter for Farmingdale, plays into Farmingdale's defensive system.
Bolello stalks him as he has all game.
We'll see the 2-man game come in here, see if they could get the pick off Bolello.
And that was Meyer to play the 2-man game, but Haberman still has it. 1:32 to go.
Meyer currently drawing a pole as well, and Joe Bleck.
Caputo staying in his cage. Now he's out as the extra defender. And he's all the way out as well. They'll sub him. As Haberman lost it going to the cage. Bolello gets the ground ball.
Timeout, Hungerford.
And a timeout by Farmingdale. What a job defensively by Bolello. And how about that call as well? Not only do you have Caputo come out, he races all the way out, gets on the other side of midfield, which allows another player to come on.
They wanted to ultimately release Gayron from the midfield line and have him be the extra defender opposed to Caputo. It works out well. They forced the turnover, and now they'll have the opportunity to possess and tie it up. 1 minute, 11 seconds left on the clock.
Bolello was our impact player for Farmingdale, and he has been as advertised, right? What a
Strong and
game
steady
for the senior. He has been fantastic. And again, not the easiest job when it's defending a Henry Haberman. He has scored 2 goals, Haberman has, but Bolello has done the job. And maybe the biggest defensive stand of the game there as he gets the turnover with Caputo out of the cage. And now the Dalers talk it over here with 1:11 remaining in regulation time.
And again, Isaac Neal is getting Bolello out of his comfort zone with that spread offense, right? Extending out, making more distance between Bolello and Haberman and the next guy if they need to force a slide. Bolello, again, really constant, consistent, close defenseman, plays around the crease area well, does a good job keeping guys out of the zone when dodging from X. But if you extend him out and force him to match feet and take him away from a skip pass where he would ultimately be the first slide, that's you're able to exploit a strong stay-at-home defender like that. But at this juncture of the game, Port Washington is going to need to keep it in the box on their offensive possessions. They won't be able to spread it out as much as they'd like to. Bolello took advantage of it in that situation, forced the turnover, picked up the ground ball. Hungerford with the timeout. And we'll see what Farmingdale is able to produce. They have to get it out of their own end first with Ramos.
Dalers, no timeouts remaining. The Vikings with 1. A huge clear for Farmingdale. Bolello splits a couple of guys. Great job. Loses, though. Gets it back. Again, no timeouts left for Farmingdale. High pass. Oh, what a recovery. Sloppy here for the Dalers. Will it cost them? Out to midfield.
Oh, man. Bolello did so much good work to get that across the midfield line. Agers bailed him out with the high pass and then just unable to possess at the midfield. And Isaac Neal, 40 seconds away from a repeat road victory in the regular season with a bye in the playoffs on the line. Man, Farmingdale really put it on the back of their senior leader, the defenseman wearing the trademark number 50 jersey. He had no help on the clear. He beat 2 riding attackmen by himself. Again, a little bit sloppy with the exchange from the attack. Haven't talked a lot about Jack Agers today, but he did make a great catch there to avoid that one from going out of bounds, but ultimately it doesn't matter. Midfield is unable to keep it together for Farmingdale, and Port Washington gets the ball back. 1-goal lead, 40 seconds left. They will need to keep it in the box, so the spread offense won't work. Again, Bolello's got to be tired now. He forced that turnover. He picked up that ground ball. He ran the clear. Again, he gets a little bit of a breather and a water in the timeout, but what can Farmingdale do? Will they pull Caputo again? Will they send in Gayron from the midfield? What will this look like?
And the thing here, too...
Do they even put Caputo back in the goal at all? Looks like he's not. Nope, he's at the attack position.
Yeah. And the thing, too, again, the Dalers, will they be punished by another turnover, right? Some of it was unforced. This one was forced, but still sloppy on those exchanges, and it could come up costly here against Farmingdale. 40 seconds left. Port Washington just dunks it into the empty net. That was Haberman.
Hat trick for Haberman. Second goal he scored today from range. Farmingdale takes the gamble, pulls the goalie.
That's an interesting decision, too, by Port, right? Where Haberman just throws it right at the cage. Now, at that spot, he's not looking to dodge, right? You've got to keep it in. So do you just say, go ahead, we'll take a 2-goal lead, even though Mangio, not cleanly, but he has been winning the faceoffs.
Right. When you're going to do that, it's just important that you have the backup. It looked like it was perhaps McCarthy who was hanging out on the low side in case Haberman missed the net there.
Again, no timeouts left. Mangio flips it the other way. It's loose and recovered, and the Vikings are going to come away here. Papa Gallus, although it goes the other way, off the face-off win. The 5th of the game for Port Washington. So 28 seconds left. The Dalers going to have to go the length of the field here and get a couple. Ramos. He's got to get a pass off. Wilson looking for it out at midfield. 18 seconds left. They've got to go. Bergerson. Hands off, low shot to high. Hey, we're not done yet. 10 seconds remaining. Kyle Wilson with the goal.
Can't count out the Dailers. We had the one-man clear by Ramos. That's the only clearing method that's worked for Farmingdale today. They ultimately get the ball into the stick of Wilson, who's been red hot, been doing a lot of different things well for Farmingdale. And we have a one-goal ball game with 10 seconds left. And Farmingdale definitely has the advantage at the face-off X as Mangio squares in there with Freeman.
If Freeman can muck it up here, it really makes it difficult, right? Gets called for the hold. 7 seconds left. Buckle up. Wilson. Bergerson out of the box. Skip pass. Oh, it skipped right through two guys. And that's the game. Port Washington holds on. And they win this one 11-10.
Farmingdale just unable to capitalize on that last opportunity. Errant pass by Bergerson. Not enough time left for the Dailers to get this home victory. And in back-to-back years, Port Washington gets an upset victory over Farmingdale on the road. The Vikings will now have a bye in the playoffs. They'll go directly to Schuert Stadium at Hofstra, the future home of Ryan Woodland. Farmingdale will likely have to play their way into Hofstra in that particular round of the playoffs as per tonight's result. But really great game, back and forth lacrosse. Both teams showed what they did well. Highlight players and the cast of characters both shined in tonight's matchup. And again, a close rivalry game. And we know that while Port Washington won last year's regular season battle, Farmingdale got the last laugh in the semis. And it is very likely that the Vikings and the Dailers for the second year in a row will play each other twice in the team season. The question is, will the Dailers get revenge the second time around, or will the Vikings get the sweep in 2022?
Well, to do that, the Vikings are going to become Syosset fans because they need the Braves to beat the Chiefs. The game will have for you, you see it here in the bottom left of your screen, to avoid Massapequa being the 1 seed. So, Port Washington could lay claim to that. Maybe it goes to a matchup, but Massapequa did win on the roads against Port, so we'll see. But we do know that they've at least got a 1 or 2 seed. Here again, you see our upcoming games for you. Thursday night, tomorrow, a triple header. You've got Sherwin River Mount Sinai. That's at 5:30. Everybody can watch that game. If you're a Cold Spring Harbor fan, you switch to that one against Southside. Chaminade, Manhasset at the same time. Maybe do a little split screen. Watch one on your phone, on your laptop, and the other. Massapequa Syosset Friday. And then the big one next Tuesday at Schuert Stadium as Chaminade and St. Anthony's lock horns for the Catholic League Championship. What a great game. Big win for Port Washington. Again, they've been a team that suffered so many close defeats. Overtime loss at Wantagh, overtime loss at home for Pequea. So you feel for those guys to get a close win right after those tough, close defeats as well. We'll see what that means for these guys going forward and for the Dailers. Just another tough one at home. You know, you lose to Massapequa and you lose to Port Washington by a goal apiece here at home. And you can't say necessarily you deserve then to be a top 2 seed, right? They've got to come out of that first round, maybe be that 3 seed. Whatever the case is, we know that the Nassau playoffs will be absolutely bananas. And we will likely have at least a game or 2 for you on the Varsity Media Sports Network. That'll do it here from Don Snyder Stadium. Want to thank our entire cast and crew, executive producer Ben Turchin, our technical director Chris Sweeney, of course the guys who bring you all the moving images, Matt McCower Brown, Mr. Met himself, and the great Ron Pierre as well, my broadcast partner Dave Franklin, Dylan Butler here, thanking you for joining us from Farmingdale, and we look forward to seeing you next time on the Varsity Media Sports Network.